Hey friends, it's a gray and kind of chilly, but super calm morning here on the lake. I sort of love it when I come out in the morning and the water's like glass. Used to be because I love to go water skiing and wakeboarding, you needed really flat water to do that. But now that I don't do that many water sports anymore because they take a toll on your body, I just enjoy the kind of mirror-like clarity. Feels like the world is meditating. I love it. And, you know, something I've been reflecting on we put this boat hoist in yesterday. There's a sailboat hoist right over here. It was sitting right here on the beach until yesterday. And I was out there with my uncles and my brother, and we're all putting this hoist in. And something about that process reminded me of being a kid watching the same uncles, but when they were much younger than I am now, or a little bit younger than I am now. And my grandfather, watching them do stuff around the house here. Put the dock in, put the boats in, have to rig a sailboat, clean up the sand or sift the sand. There's any number of things that need to be done at a place like this. And my granddad was, I mean, this is his paradise. He loved it here. And as I was having those memories, I have some pretty vivid ones. Some pretty vivid ones of being in, you know, so we have a garage here that used to have a workshop in it. My granddad had a workshop. And he would just make things, build things. We still have in the garage today a bunch of his kind of tool organizers, nail and screw organizers that we still use because it was impeccably organized. And I mean, this is a man who died in 1989, so they've outlasted him by quite a while. And we've remodeled the garage since then. But I've started to come back to these childhood memories, this really early imprinting of what this place is. And it's a truly magical place. And I've been, over the last couple of days, I think I have a couple posts worth of content to share about how this place operates in my life and how I've seen it operate in the lives of some of my other family members and other people who have spent time up here. There's a little bit of magic up here. But the thing that struck me, this is yesterday, as we were doing the boat hoist, and I was just kind of part of something, but also sort of witnessing it at the same time. What struck me was you know, when I think back to those days when I was a kid, it's like the good old days. I remember them as though I remember them through the sheen of this idyllic time, and I recognize I'm very lucky and privileged to feel that way about my childhood, to have had a place like this in my childhood. But I can't help but remember that, and then relate it to Annalise, to my daughter, and to see, to kind of watch her living her version of that now. And it's like, so then I see what's happening now, and I look around and I sort of experience it as the new good old days because she's 4. She's experiencing this for the first time. This is her induction into this world. And it's because this is a place that has been so significant to my family for so long. It's like, I know she's launching a journey that's going to likely be to be lifelong for her. And so I just, what that creates is just a sense of a totally different perspective on what I do here, what's happening for me, what these activities are all about. Because it's like when it's almost like a generational awareness that just you can't help but think about. You know, I've got my daughter, who's clearly the newest, youngest. You know, she's the generation in formation. My generation, which is like the adult, kind of like carrying the torch generation. Then there's my parents, who are watching my generation carry the torch, because they've carried it for a long time, and in some ways they still do, but they're moving to a place of greater. I think they survey everything from a slightly different height, from a higher altitude. And I just get a little taste of that. And then, you know, my grandparents' generation I think there might be a handful of people, not in my immediate family, but in the other families up here. There's a handful of folks left from that generation, but there's a shift that takes place when having had a child now, a few years ago, 4 years ago, and it's like the energy's flowing to a new place now. The priority is different. And it's kind of just remarkable to see myself, my activities, my experiences here now as part of that formative, good old days experience for her, for someone else. I don't know what made me quite, you know, I don't know what about yesterday's activities or the last couple of days' activities has made that so clear to me, but it really kind of just jumped out at me as a relevant and a kind of a framing device. It's like I all of a sudden was seeing my own choices and my own influence in a different way. And I think part of what it evoked was there's such a sense of gratitude that I have about that time in my life, and the kind of joy of being in a place like this. I mean, my daughter asks every day from the day we leave, she asks, when are we going back? And we nursed that conversation, and then for an entire year, this last year, we talked about it for a whole year, counted down for a whole year, until finally it was like, you know, a couple weeks away, a week away, a couple days away. I mean, it was like a build-up that really was conscious and consistent. And I think being conscious of that, of the fact that that's what's happening for her, helps me just engage, just be a little more awake in my engagement, just be a little more there. I don't know that I could try to do this, try to create the new good old days. I don't know that that would work. I don't know that that's a worthwhile endeavor. I think I just need to be who I am. But knowing that it's happening, having that lens available to me, it just really, it's a powerful experience. It's a powerful, powerful experience. It increases it immediately increases and evokes my own gratitude about my connection to this place. My gratitude at being able to introduce another human being to this place. I mean, what a privilege to have something like this to share with your kids. And I think there is something about the place, and I'm gonna have to do this on another post because I've got another whole wave coming up now that I don't want to go into, or it'll be a 25-minute post. But I think there's something about the place that evokes that. There's something that's part of the magic of this place, is that it evokes that perspective. It gives me a chance to see experiences over time, because I have such a long history here, and my family, many family members before me have such a long history here, that it inherently evokes a long-term perspective. So yeah, that's where I am today. Thanks for watching, people. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon.